Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Corby. We are back at it again today, talking about one of my favorite games of all time. And, well, it's Halo 3 Day. I know last time we covered Halo 2. Today we are diving into Halo 3 and the things that make this game so great. And I want to set aside something and talk about it before I start this conversation. If there's any time that I mention how clunky a game may be or things that are wrong with it, just know it's not negative connotation. It's actually more of things that, to me, kind of give the game the bit of personality that it deserves. Like, for example, the first thing we're going to talk about is the gunplay of Halo 3. And I kind of talked about this a little bit on Halo 2, except Halo 3 I'm going to be a lot more, I guess, lenient with it because it definitely is better. One of my biggest things about old school Halo, I guess up until Halo Reach, really, and I think Combat Evolved also gets a bit of a pass because Combat Evolved's gunplay feels very good and very, very solid, and it's one thing that I absolutely love about it. Also, in this video, y'all are going to see me getting a little toxic in these lobbies because people just really decide to annoy me, and I think it's really funny to get a little toxic back at them, like, hey, buddy, you're going to camp, I'm going to go ahead and come over here and you're going to get a nut to the face. But besides that, talking about gunplay as a whole, it's much more precise in Halo 3, but I swear to God, one of the things about this game that does get very annoying is you do have to set aside that, especially when it comes to sniping, things aren't necessarily like hit scan. You kind of do have to lead your shots in Halo 3. But besides that, when it comes to a weapon like the battle rifle, I don't know what it is about this thing sometimes, but I swear to God, I feel like I'm shooting in a triangle formation. Like it has three barrels that are like this, and I feel like that's how it shoots sometimes, and it's really fucking weird. It's how I've always felt on Halo 3, but something about it also feels very precise, especially when it comes to the close quarters combat of Halo 3. It just feels really good. It feels very responsive, and I absolutely love that about this game more than really any other Halo. To me, whenever I hop on Halo 3, it just has that nostalgic feel of weapons not feeling absolutely perfect. They feel a little bit fucking weird, a little bit clunky. For example, like the Halo 3 Magnum, possibly one of the worst magnums in the game, but it has this, like these little tricks you can kind of do with it that make it really resourceful, and I actually love it a lot for that. It's an odd thing that we really don't see in games anymore. Weapons that aren't absolutely perfect, they're not nailed down, they're not like really thought upon in a lot of really direct ways that really give them a defining feature. It feels that way, at least to me. Of course, there are games that do still do that. I think Halo is one of the best series for that. Is weapons having defining features, things that make them unique, and that has carried on, I think, from Combat Evolved all the way till now with Infinite. It's it's just something that I love. It's just something about it. It brings me back to that time where games did have that feel, but Halo 3's is very distinct in its own way as well. Compared to games like Call of Duty and such, the only other game that I'll say has these very distinct weapon feels like Halo is Gears of War, in my opinion. I think Gears has this like just very unique thing, but we're not talking about Gears today. We're talking about Halo. But 3 had something very special about it. It didn't have a necessary meta kind of like Halo 2's BR. Of course, the BR was the best weapon in Halo 3. I think everybody fucking knows this. But every weapon had its own viable resource to it, where you could use it to kind of actually manipulate the map and manipulate how people were playing. Like, for example, a weapon like the Mauler in Halo 3, where it was a pistol but a shotgun as well that had extra melee damage due to the blade that was on the back of it. So you could, run into somebody with a shotgun, you could pop and then melee, and you could just get those kills. It was really fucking cool. Or even just how the traditional Halo shotgun worked in Halo 3. It was very unique and kind of had its own flavor to it that added this aspect of unique close quarters combat. And then when it came to long range, you had weapons like the battle rifle, the Covenant carbine, sniper, and the beam rifle, which were all super resourceful yet again in their own ways. Personally, I'm a huge fan of the Covenant carbine in Halo. It's one of my favorite weapons to pick up and use. I will say it's a little bit different in SWAT because for some reason that thing has the weirdest fucking hit detection when it comes to headshots in SWAT for whatever fucking reason I don't understand. But when it comes to just playing regular, I love picking up the carbine and actually getting to use it. It's such a fun weapon. It's such a responsive weapon. It has a very unique sound design to it as well, which is what I love. I don't think there's a single weapon in any other video game that sounds like the Covenant carbine that feels the same way as using the carbine. Like it's its unique feature. It's almost like the predecessor to what we got with the DMR or the Bandit. And listen, I'm not gonna lie, I still wish the carbine would come back. I fucking love that weapon. To me, it's just a standout Halo weapon. It has a unique reload too, with like the tiny little like fuel rods coming out of it whenever you pop it open and it pops out the top. It's just really fucking cool. And then they just like throw it down and it closes. Crazy good reload animation. It's just unique, and that's something about this game that kind of all the weapons happen to have. Whether it's the plasma rifle where you'll be shooting it and then it'll end up venting itself, or the beam rifle which does the exact same. It'll like vent out the top of it and you'll hold it up and shit. Um, there's just a lot of cool shit when it comes to the guns and the gunplay of this game that I still love to this day, despite how floaty and weird it may feel at times. I still really fucking love it. It's something that's always stuck out to me about Halo 3, and one thing that always kept me coming back to Halo 3. A lot of, like, my biggest thing with Halo is what is keeping me coming back to this game, and Halo 3 has been that game for so fucking long. I come back to it constantly, and even then, I'm coming back to it more than I do like Halo Combat Evolved or Halo 2 or Reach or sometimes even 4. I just absolutely love this game. Something about the classic feel with a bit of the more advanced stuff they added over the years, especially with like abilities, it hits a certain way that I absolutely love, and I'll forever hold it as one of my favorite Halos. It's always in my S tiers. It's always in my top 3 discussion, and I don't think that's ever going to change. And there's definitely some bias tied to that. It was the first Halo that I really got to experience from the day that it came out to the day that Reach came out. When everybody switched over to Reach, and even when people switched to Reach, I was still playing Halo 3 because I just absolutely love this game. Something about it felt super responsive and clean, but it still had that Halo unique clunkiness to it, which is something I mention a lot when I talk about Halo, is every game is uniquely clunky in its own way, and that's actually one thing that's always gave Halo that charm to me. There's instances where something so fucking stupid will happen, you'll just be like, huh? It's like there's a clip in here that I will talk about later because it reminds me of that clunkiness of Halo, and always just puts me back on that mindset of, damn, this is why I love these games. It's so fucking stupid sometimes. But the game also feels really good to play too. Overall, I just absolutely fucking love this game. Now, talking aside from the multiplayer, I'm going to talk about the campaign a little bit. While this campaign in Halo does have its fair share of issues, while some of the story issues are pretty significant, it's revered as, you're either going to love the story, or if you've played them all and you like really get into the lore, you're either going to love it or hate it. That's where I've drawn my line at in it. Personally, Halo 3 is one of my favorite campaigns to play through. Now, yet again, I'm going to say, like I have been saying it, there's some nostalgia tied to that. Like there is with every Halo. There's some nostalgia there. I grew up playing this campaign all the fucking time with my friends or my brother or whoever it may be. It was always the first time when somebody be like, I've never played Halo before. I'd be like, cool, we're playing Halo 3 then. It's a game that I have a lot of memories from, and I will always remember it. Also, here's that really goofy-ass clip. That shit's stupid as hell. Why did they let me do that? But yet again, going back to that, there's just a lot of memories in here. And this game still actually manages to create memories for me. I don't know how. It just still manages to be there to create these really goofy-ass moments that I absolutely love to death. And, well, here's an example from a couple days ago when me and Bradshaw were playing some Halo 3, and just a really fucking funny thing happened, and I wanted to throw it in here. From the right side.
Yeah, the fucking grenades fucked me.
Oh, hey, look, a sniper rifle. Oh god, I got it. Broom shot.
God.
Cool, you watched that? Welcome back. But this game is just unique in that way. It's very goofy. It's very just, it's its own weird, odd thing. And it's something that, yet again, I'll keep restating it, I just kind of love about it. It's beautiful. It's so fun to fucking play. And I know there's been the conversation recently from like, Halo 3 deserves an anniversary edition, and I'm actually not for that. Something about the visual aspects of Halo 3 are still extremely, extremely impressive. If you go play through that campaign and you have the ability to play on a new console, playing like through the MCC, you will realize how visually stunning this game is, with the color ratios, with how the characters are designed, how the weapons are designed. It's perfect. It's phenomenal, and it's something that I will always love about this game. And I do think we need to hold off on an anniversary edition for it, because, well, as much as I love this game and how much I would love to see what 343 could do with it and see what they could change and fix, because if we look at Halo 2 Anniversary, 343 clearly knows how to make a fucking classic Halo and make it their own unique experience. And I do want to do a full video on H2A, because that game to me is perfect. It is perfection. If I'm thinking classic Halo and I'm like, what's the perfect representation of it, H2A is like damn near there. Of course, the multiplayer isn't nearly as fleshed out as the original Halo 2 was, and that was just due to different teams and shit working on it. But trust me, if you haven't played a lot of H2A, I highly recommend it. It is absolutely fucking phenomenal, and you really should go give it a shot and actually compare and contrast the two. But back over to Halo 3, talking about its visual representations, it's stunning. It's genuinely really impressive for a game that came out in the fall of 2007 on the Xbox 360. And trust me, this bastard came out on the 360s at fucking Red Ringed every couple of months after you'd buy one. It was a stunning fucking time and something that I will never forget. Coulter, can we stop it, doggy? Stop it. But besides that, there's so much about this game that is just absolutely special. I feel like in a lot of ways this was Bungie kind of setting a standard for FPS titles. They'd already done it with Halo 1 and 2, don't get me wrong, but 3 really was a special game. If you were there for the times, you will remember how talked about this game was, how many people played this game. It was honestly the only other FPS at the time other than really Battlefield that like really put COD up for their money. You were either a Halo player or a COD player or a Battlefield player. It's weird. It's very odd. It was a time that I will never forget when all of those games kind of collectively clashed, and now it seems like COD's really the only runner-up for biggest FPS. And I do hope one day we'll see a resurgence of Battlefield or Halo or a new title coming out that people actually are really interested in. And I will say this, COD's changed their formula a lot over the years, while Halo's really stuck with the traditional arena-style FPS. And personally, that's actually one thing that I love about Halo. They've never really strayed away from that. They know exactly what their players want to play, and they continue to deliver on that. While Infinite does have its issues, and I will be talking about those when I get to Infinite, as much as I love that game, I do think that is one thing that's always made Halo, to me at least, a damn perfect FPS title. It's always remained consistent. They've done little things that have changed here and there. For example, with Halo 5, a lot of the movement changed, and I actually do love a lot of those movement changes. I actually would have not minded seeing those appear back in some way. I thought those were really cool. They added a lot of different gameplay elements, but it still stuck true and felt like Halo. That's the border. That is the baseline. If it feels like Halo, I'm gonna like it. I know Reach is definitely a weird game for some people, and some people love it. To me, it's not my absolute favorite. I think Reach feels, how do I describe this? Clunky in a bad way. That's how we're gonna describe it. It's just a little weird. But nonetheless, I still do love Halo Reach. I think still to this day, Halo Reach has the funnest version of Firefight ever introduced into Halo. Yes, it's better than Halo 3 ODSTs, despite Halo 3 ODST's Flood Fight being one of the most enjoyable things in the world to fucking play. I absolutely love it. That's like not even a lie. I just think Flood Fight's really fucking cool. But there's a lot to it that this game is just perfect about, and of course, you know, our next one is going to be talking about Halo 3 ODST, so I'm very excited to talk about that. I was debating on doing these two games together because they are both Halo 3 titles, but ODST is its own standalone unique thing, and you'll all be seeing some campaign content for that. That one may come down later the line. I am starting tonight of playing through all the Halos on Legendary, so you guys might get that video a little bit later. I may go ahead and do Reach, and then 4, and then Infinite. Yet again, I've already said it, I'm not doing 5 just because I don't have a way to play it on PC, so I can't really go get gameplay for it. But overall, Halo 3 is just a game that is damn near perfect, and to me it's aged like damn near fine wine. And we have oh god, we have like 3 years until it turns 20, and then well, who knows, maybe we'll get an anniversary edition or something. Who knows what we're going to get. I'm just very happy that this game is still able to be played. And if you are new to Halo, I said in my last 2 videos that I've done talking about these games, go back and play them. Go experience what you can. Now, of course, you're not going to have the same experiences that I did as a little fucking 6-year-old playing this game. You were going to have a different experience because you're playing it on MCC, where many people aren't using game chat like they used to. There's just a lot of differences, and it's a lot of older players still playing these games. So yes, it is going to be pretty fucking sweaty, so be accepting of that. Go into mind with, I'm just trying to experience this to its fullest degree that I can, because a reminder, yet again, it's almost been 20 years. That's 2 decades. That's a long fucking time, and I fucking don't even know how to react to that, to be honest. I'm beyond baffled that it's been that long. But do yourself a favor. Go experience these games. They are worth that time. They are worth that effort to go back and truly embrace what they are and what they did for the gaming community. I, yet again, still absolutely love these games, and I don't regret ever going back to playing them. Of course, they piss me off sometimes. Shout out to Halo 3 for being a game that I love to absolute death, but still manages to give me the most anger of any game I've ever fucking played in my entire life. I don't know how you've done that, Bungie, but hey, shout out to you. Because ain't no game made me rage like Halo 3 does. And still to this day, no game holds that fucking crown. I don't know how it happens, it just does. But it's a unique thing about it. It's a love-hate relationship like no other, and it's one that I will always abuse myself with. I truly will. Because well, I just really fucking like this game. And I definitely, don't see myself ever like 100% stopping playing it until the day that the servers just no longer fucking exist and the game becomes absolutely unplayable. I just don't see that happening because this game just has a lot of memories tied to it, which is actually part of the reason that I started doing content was to kind of grasp onto those memories of playing with friends and shit. Started like recording bits and clips whenever I'm playing with everybody because it's just fun to have. It's those things that you get to look back on, and there's so many moments from the Halo 3 days that I'll never get to look back on. And I kind of regret that to a degree, but that just comes with time. I'm happy for what I have with that. This game is just what I like to call when I'm playing with like some of my friends that I played with back in the day. Just a trip down old memory lane, and I am very happy that I get to continue having those. Whenever it's nighttime and I'm sitting here playing some Halo 3, I get texts from my friends constantly that are like, "You're on MCC, dog?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "All right, we're playing Halo 3," and it's great. I love the fact there's still that connection between friends, and I think that's a part of the reason why this game does stay so populated. There are people who, were friends back in the day who played this game together that still have the ability to go back and experience that and have those moments with their friends. Despite how mad you may get playing it, you still get to have those times where you're like, damn, this was a very special time for gaming, and it was. It was different then. There wasn't anything like battle passes or microtransactions like they used to be. We just had DLC packs that came out maybe 6 months after the game was out. It was just, we play this game because we really like the gameplay feature of it, which is one thing I do hope we kind of start seeing return more. It seems like battle passes are kind of on their last leg of people being like, yeah, this just isn't really that fun anymore. And gaming has evolved, and trust me, I am 100% aware of that. That's just part of how it goes. Things evolve and things change, and guess what? That's completely okay. So as long as we continue to sit here and enjoy games and have fun with them, I don't give a fuck what's in them. If the game's fun and I like it, and if it has a couple microtransactions, fuck it, I might buy some. My whole thing with gaming is, if I like the game, I'm not going to stop playing it. I don't really care what other people think about it or how big or how small that game's community is. I still just like the game, therefore I'm going to play it. And I feel like most people should be that way. Stop basing your opinions off of what everyone else is saying. Just play the games that you like. I know this is getting off topic, but just play what you fucking like. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But to end off Halo 3 here, I'm going to leave you all with some gameplay. Just the end of this King of the Hill game. And other than that, though, I will see you all later.